Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. This episode is special just like every other episode, but it's special for a different reason. We'll get into it in just a second. So I want to present to you Custom Robo. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Custom Robo games, let me just give you a brief synopsis. Now, the first one we didn't get, it was Japan only. So this one is the GameCube version that we got later, which I believe is like Battle Assault in Japan. Either way, it doesn't matter. This game is about battling robots. Now, there have been many games and anime about battling robots, and I am a fan of battling robots. You know, if the Robot Wars game wasn't trash, we'd be talking about that one as well. But this one is more anime style inspired, right? It's got a lot of flavor, a lot of futuristic action going on. The story itself is not very deep, but it's a means to an end. It's kind of how you get all the parts in the game, right? But my friend Ronnie, this was his game, and this was a game that he was very much about, and he used to tell us about Custom Robo, and so I'm like, all right, let me check it out. And he brings it over, he brings his memory card, and he's like, look, I got all these parts. You got to earn these parts by going through the story. So he let me go through it, you know, get my feet wet and whatnot. And then it was time to battle. It was time to rumble. And let me tell you, he gave me the business. One, you need to get certain parts to really hang with somebody that's beating the game, right? You got to beat the game, basically. But the gameplay itself is very fun. You fight in these arenas, and in the story mode, it's generally like 1v1, sometimes 2v2, and sometimes free-for-all. You can play like the versus mode if you both got files or you want to use the same person's parts. And you can have up to 4 people fighting, so you know I love that. It's GameCube at its finest, right? 4-player action. And the battle system is pretty straightforward. It's simple. Based on the weapons that you have, you launch yourself out there, and if you get a high roll, that's kind of a bad thing because you got to keep pressing the button real fast to launch your robot. But once you get into it, you start to realize that like this game plays really smooth. It's really inventive. Like I hadn't seen anything like it since. And I would love for them to bring this series back, but you know how Nintendo gets down. So based on your weapons, you have like your gun, your basic gun, you have a melee attack, you have like these different like alternate fire weapons. So you have like a missile pack, and then you'll have like an alternate just main weapon. And there's so many parts in this game, in addition to having like your own different types of bodies, different types of thrusters. So like the combinations are crazy. And I remember just jumping in and trying to figure out what's the best ones for my play style. Some weapons are clearly better than others, but you know, the more you get into the game, the more you see all of the possibilities. And you know, it was one of those games where once everybody kind of got used to how to play and what parts they wanted to use, you could just jump in and just have these wars. And you know, I'm always a fan of chaos, so this game can definitely be chaotic once you get everybody kind of going and figuring out what to do. Now, the learning curve is definitely something where you have to know what the weapons do in order to know how to deal with them. So that's always a funny thing. Like the first time you play this, if you're playing against somebody who knows what everything does, it's going to be hard for you to win. Like it's just that the way it works. But once you figure out the movements and things like that, you can start to figure out, you know, what you need to do. And that's where it really gets fun. When everybody's experienced, everybody has their loadouts and everybody knows what to do, then you can kind of see, you know, you can kind of battle for supremacy. Or in some of our cases, you can gang up on Ronnie so that, you know, he's not guaranteed to win, because if we don't, he's going to win. And we don't want him to keep winning every time. Right, Steven? So let's do what we got to do to make sure it's just me and you. No, but I really enjoyed this game, and I really wish they would kind of bring this series back, just because, you know, the customization thing alone was so crazy, and the robots look really cool. So it's not like, you know, it's one of those games that the designs don't match the gameplay. Like this game was really, really, really good. It's just one of those that wasn't as popular. You know, it's definitely got some anime inspiration, the character designs, the story, things like that. But those are all good things to me. Like I'm here for the cliches and the you know, the tropes that they always use for these type of games. I'm here for it. You know, kid living by himself, your parents die tragically or mysteriously, or you're always an orphan or something like that. I'm here for it. I love it. It works, especially in video game form. So if you know about Custom Robo, what's your loadout, right? You know, what was your build? What were some good memories? Did you have the just one-on-ones, or did you do 2v2s, or did you do some 4-player action? Let me know how y'all would get down. And as always, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.